There comes a point in every man's life when silence speaks louder than 1,000 arguments, when the weight of your words no longer moves them, when the value you bring no longer matters, when your presence is treated like an inconvenience. That's the moment you face the harsh truth. Respect is gone. And when respect is gone, there is only one move left. Not to fight. Not to explain. Not to beg. Walk away. Without a word. Respect is the foundation of everything. Love without respect is manipulation. Friendship without respect is betrayal waiting to happen. Business without respect is slavery disguised as opportunity. Every bond you have, romantic, professional, social, is built on the invisible currency of respect. When that currency runs out, the relationship collapses. And most men, they see it coming. They feel it in their gut. They hear it in the tone. They see it in the eyes. They sense it in the silence. But instead of walking away, they cling harder. They talk more. They explain more. They try to prove their worth. To people who have already decided they're not worthy. That is the most humiliating position a man can ever put himself in. To remain where his value is no longer seen. Understand this. Respect never dies suddenly. It erodes slowly. It starts with little things. They interrupt you mid-sentence. They dismiss your ideas like they're nothing. They make promises they don't keep. Because your time means less to them now. Then it escalates. They talk down to you. They mock your ambitions. They treat your boundaries like suggestions, not laws. And when you call them out, they laugh. Because they already know something you refuse to accept. You won't leave. As long as they believe you won't walk away. They have no reason to respect you. You've trained them to think you'll tolerate anything. So why do most men stay? Because weakness whispers lies. It tells you, maybe they'll change. It tells you, maybe I'm overreacting. It tells you, if I leave, I lose everything I invested. But here's the brutal truth. The longer you stay where you are disrespected, the cheaper you become. They don't value what they can step on without consequence. They don't respect what refuses to demand respect. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. And every time you tolerate disrespect, you send one message loud and clear. I am okay with being disrespected. Respect is not requested. It is enforced. Not by yelling. Not by fighting. Not by arguing endlessly trying to make them see your worth. You enforce respect with silence. You enforce respect with action. You enforce respect by leaving the table. The moment they think they can starve you. Because here's the truth. You will never regain respect by staying where it is gone. You will never talk someone into respecting you again. Once they've crossed that line and you stayed, they know you're willing to live without it. And if a man is willing to live without respect, he will die without dignity. You owe it to yourself to walk away. Not to prove a point. Not to make them regret it. But to save your soul. Because every second you spend explaining yourself to people who stopped listening, you lose energy that could have built a kingdom elsewhere. Every moment you stay where you are tolerated instead of celebrated, you shrink into a smaller version of yourself. And no purpose-driven man can afford that. Here's the law of the world. The moment you walk away from what no longer values you, two things happen. 1. You regain your power. 2. They remember your worth when it's too late. And that's the beauty of silent departure. You don't slam the door. You don't throw words like daggers. You don't leave a speech, a paragraph, or a quote. You leave a void. A void so loud it echoes in every room you used to fill. A void that forces them to remember every moment you gave. every ounce of loyalty they wasted. A void that speaks the truth no words ever could. You were the value they thought was replaceable. Silence is the loudest statement a man can make. Because silence cannot be debated. It cannot be twisted. It cannot be used against you. Silence says, you'll never have this energy again. Silence says, I don't need you to see my worth. Silence says, my dignity is worth more than this room, this table, this relationship. And when you leave like that, without drama, without warning, without explanation, you don't just leave them. You leave the old you behind. The weak version. The one who stayed too long. The one who begged for crumbs when he was born to own the table. Walking away is not weakness. It's mastery. Weak men stay because they fear loss. Strong men walk because they fear losing themselves. And every time you walk away from disrespect, you level up. You upgrade your circle. You strengthen your spine. You prove to yourself that you are your own highest authority. Because if you can't enforce respect, you can't lead. Not in business. Not in relationships. Not in life. A man who stays where he is disrespected will stay broke, stay small, stay forgotten. But a man who leaves, he becomes unstoppable. Because nothing chains him. Not comfort. Not history. Not fear. So here's the truth you must swallow today. If you are not respected, you are not loved. If you are not respected, you are not valued. And if you are not respected, you have no future there. Stop lying to yourself. Stop thinking time will fix what character already destroyed. Stop negotiating with people who have already shown you what you mean to them. When respect is gone, it is gone. And the only move that saves your soul is the one most men are too afraid to make. Walk away. Without a word. Final word. You will bleed when you leave. It will hurt. It will feel like death. But what's worse? The temporary pain of walking away? Or the eternal humiliation of staying where your name means nothing? Choose the pain that frees you. Choose the silence that restores you. Choose the exit that builds you. Because if you stay where you are disrespected, you will shrink into a man who cannot even respect himself. And once that happens, your life is no longer your own. When respect is gone, walk away without a word. Because silence is not weakness. It's the language of kings.